Okay, welcome to my workshop. It's shutdown day 1 and I'm going to show you how to make a training aid out of a broken set of limbs. If any of you have been shooting for as long as I have, you will have these kicking around in your loft somewhere. So let's see how we can put them to work to keep us shooting fit whilst we are banished from our ranges. Alright, let's get started and see what equipment we need. You'll need your 2 broken limbs. These ones are a twisted set of Seb flutes. It doesn't matter what poundage they are, all that matters is that they are the same ILF limb fit as your riser. So there we go. We also need a length of stretchy cord. This is bungee cord, like you use for making luggage straps and that kind of thing. It's 10mm in diameter, available on Amazon. You can also use latex stretchy tube, or you can use your normal clinny band, provided that you've got some spare kicking around that you're not currently using as part of your normal shooting kit. You will also need, a 5mm drill bit, just a wood drill bit, and a 10mm drill bit. You'll obviously need a drill to use those in. I've got a drill press in my workshop, so we'll be using that in this demonstration, but you can use a handheld drill just as easily. You'll need a knife for cutting the stretchy band to length. You'll need a pen for marking where we're going to cut the limbs, and yes, we are going to cut the limbs. You'll need a lighter for melting the end of your stretchy cord, presuming that you're using bungee cord to stop it fraying. You'll need a measuring tape to figure out where we're going to cut the limbs and make sure it's the same on both limbs. And finally, you will need a hacksaw. Any kind of hacksaw will do. Finer blades are better, but use whatever you've got to hand, because you're not exactly going to be going out shopping for brand new hacksaw blades in the current environment. Okay, that's the full kit list. Let's see what we do with it. I've been reminded that it's a visual medium, so I should probably show you me actually cutting these. So this is the second one. Start your cut slowly. Make sure you lock your voice down. Slowly at the end. As you can see, you can get little, I hope you can see that, splinters from the laminate layer. Just be careful of your hands. We're going to take that off with a little bit of sandpaper just to neaten it up. So I've just got a little crappy bit of sandpaper I had kicking around. Let's tidy that. We're just trying to take the sharp edges off. You don't need to remove masses of material. If you don't have sandpaper, you could probably use grip tape if you've got that lying around. That sort of skateboard deck tape a lot of people use on their bows. You could even just tape these over with a bit of whatever tape you've got if you don't have access to sandpaper at home right now, or if you can't get hold of any. Right, so they're nice and clean. Hope you can see. Don't know how the autofocus works on this camera. Now the next thing we're going to have to do is drill through to make a fitting for the stretchy band to come through. Happily, Seb Flute have left us a nice circular logo to use to actually decide where to make the hole. So we're just going to drill right in the centre of that, I think. Basically, you need to find the middle of this first working part of the limb and make your hole through there. The limb's not actually under any load, so it doesn't matter if you're a little bit off to the side. It's just for neatness' sake, really. Hello dear viewer, you are now propped up on an incredibly ad hoc construction clamped to the door frame of my workshop. I hope you don't fall off. This is my drill press. Let's just grab the limbs. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is drill in from the flat side, so from the steep side, this side, flat side down, and we're going to need to go slowly with the 5mm drill bit first to make a pilot hole, and then we're going to go in with the larger drill bit afterwards. As you can see, I am not measuring the centre on this because I've got the logo, I've got the Seb Flute logo to use as a reference. Okay, let's have a bash. If you're not comfortable with using a drill, clamp the work down before you try to make the hole so you don't kill yourself or any bystanders. And just very slowly make your hole. Probably can't see any of this because my hand is in the way. Never mind, I'm sure you've seen a hole drilled before, and if you haven't, go look on YouTube. Okay, so that's through. You can tell by the change in the noise. Let it go. Turn it off. So there's the first pilot hole drilled through. Then we're going to go through the other limb, make another pilot hole. Then we'll come back to this. I'll show you when we've got the larger drill bit chucked up to make the final size hole for the stretchy band. Okay, welcome back to your precarious perch. I'm just going to put the larger hole now through this stumpy limb. This is the 10mm drill bit, and as you can see I've actually clamped down sorry, I keep saying I told you I'm new to this. I have clamped down the limb because it's a larger drill bit, so it adds torque, which means it's harder to keep hold of, so better to clamp it down rather than take a risk. See how we go. That's why I clamped it down. You can see all the movement. That's what you get for using a big drill bit. There we go. Nice big hole, ready to receive the stretchy band. Right, so here are the drilled stumpy limbs, and we just need to tidy up the holes a little bit because, as you can see, they're a bit splintery. So with your grotty, or perhaps not grotty, sandpaper, just tidy it up a bit to remove any splintering paint or laminates, so that they don't cause you trouble when you're using the training aid, and so that they don't fray your stretchy band. So you can see that's a lot better now. Just going to quickly do the other side. You can obviously wrap a bit of sandpaper around the pencil, a pencil, if you need to get into the hole a bit better. I'll know you're bored if you're watching this bit still. Woman sands limbs. You must have watched all of Netflix already if you're this desperate. The splintering on this one was a bit worse. I was a bit sloppy with the drilling, tried to push through the last bit too quickly, so I'm having to do a little bit more tidying up than is ideal, but that serves me right. Okay, all good, that'll do. Right, so the next thing we need to do is, I keep saying right, sorry, we need to fit the bungee cord in through the hole in the limb. That's as straightforward as just push it through. This is where you find out whether you've drilled the right size hole. Luckily we have. I've already melted the ends of this stretchy bungee to make sure that it doesn't fray as I push it through the hole, so please don't forget that step. So you need to get a good length through, so you've got just enough to tie a knot in it. If you've got something like a fence clamp, you'll know what that is if you've got it. You can just clamp some metal around, crimp some metal around the end rather than tying a knot, which is neater obviously, and you lose less stretchy band, but I'm assuming most people won't have those, so all you need to do is tie a single knot in the end and pull it nice and tight so that it can't work its way back through the hole. Make sure you've done this on the top side of the limb, because if you've done it underneath, it's not going to work. Okay, so there's the first one, and then we're going to come through the second one. Oh, this one's a slightly tighter fit, but there we go. pull it through, make sure we've got enough length, tie our knot, pull it tight. I've cut the bungee to what I think is approximately the right length, which is about the length of the riser I want to use this on. Obviously if you want it to be lighter, then make it longer. If you want it to be heavier, make it shorter, but remember that bungee has got an elastic limit, so if you make it too short, it'll stop stretching before you hit full draw. And it's as simple as that. So there we have a training aid that we can click in to our normal riser with our normal stabiliser setup on, used for reversals, used for the drills that I'm going to be showing you. No issue with low ceilings, no issue with not being able to shoot, no issue with dry fire in the bow. So that's essentially for the price of a bit of stretchy and a pair of redundant limbs that you will probably find in your loft. If you are struggling to find limbs, perhaps ask on your club's Facebook group or WhatsApp or however you communicate, because most people do have some kicking around. And you can't resell them because they're broken, and you can't really put them in the bin because they're a huge chunk of carbon in many cases. So use them. Why not? They're not doing anything else. Just to reiterate, if you are doing this with carbon limbs, please make sure you take the appropriate safety precautions. Make sure that you're wearing a mask, make sure that you're wearing eye protection. Don't breathe in the carbon, just treat it in exactly the same way as you would when you're cutting your carbon arrows, to make sure you stay healthy, at least until... No, I won't say it until the virus gets you. Stay safe, everybody. Enjoy, and I'll be back to show you how to use this in the next video.